Hey everyone, this week I'm facing my worst fear, spending a night in a capsule hotel with strangers. Ah! They do not have doors. So this is my room. Oh my god, what is that? Jokes aside, the first capsule hotel was built in the 1979 in Osaka, Japan. It was meant to be an affordable option for businessmen who lost their train or were too drunk to go home. As the name suggests, you just get to sleep in a pod. And nowadays it is used for that and also for solo travelers who just don't want to spend too much on accommodation. And as the name suggests, you just get to sleep in a pod. Great if you're looking for something cheap, but maybe not the best if you're claustrophobic. I have seen so many videos about these pod hotels in Japan specifically, and I always want to try one of them, but going to Japan is just not possible right now, so instead I flew to the next best option, Denmark. If you guys watched my last video of me eating from 7-Eleven for 24 hours in Copenhagen, and as a side quest I also decided to spend a night in a capsule hotel, because well, Copenhagen is not a cheap city. Maybe it was a time of the year that I decided to visit Copenhagen, but hotels were too expensive, so I was like, hell no. So when I saw this capsule hotel for 26 euros or around 195 Danish kron, I was intrigued. The name of the hostel is Steel House, and their reviews are a bit of a hit or miss. Some people really love this place and some not so much. Dozens of spiders at the window. I think that the room has not been cleaned in a long time. Room not. Internet into room was bad. Paid kitchen. The room was so cold. Both of us got sick the next day. Very complicated check-in procedure with app and expectation that customer is flowing with digital services. So you get the point. And I thought, why not give you guys the full scoop while I was at it? By the way, originally I was supposed to go to this other hotel called the City Hub because this place was going crazy viral at the time. So it was like fully booked the whole month. And obviously I couldn't really postpone filming of this video, so I decided to use Steel House as an alternative, which came to bite me in the butt, but I will tell you why later on. Anyway, enough of my yapping, it's time to check in. When I walked in, the first thing that I saw was this weird looking mannequin. I mean, hooray, gay pride. Now, there are two different ways to check in at this hostel. You can either go to the reception and do it directly with the staff, or you can do it online. Which is what I did because I really did not want to deal with the reception. But the downside to doing it online was that I had to download an app, which was kinda annoying because the app was also kinda slow. But the app itself wasn't like too complicated to navigate, so I didn't have that big of an issue. But maybe for somebody who is not very tech savvy, it might be a bit of a challenge. But the fun thing about doing the check-in with the app is that you can use your phone as your key to enter your room and also use the elevator, which was really fun. I've always heard about using your phone to open doors, but hey, I never tried it and it was really fun. It felt like I was in this futuristic movie. I probably sound so lame right now, but then again, hey, this is just my experience, so shut up. But remember when I said the app also controlled the elevator? But yeah, on the app itself, they don't really disclose this information. And I was in the elevator with 3 other women. And we were trying to figure out how this elevator works. We were pressing so many buttons, it felt like we were in this escape room. And then, at some point, we all figured it out. Oh my god, we were supposed to use the phone to open this thing. Yeah. It was just a weird moment, but anyway, we figured it out after 5 minutes of being there. We were just getting in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, not fun. Anyways, after that shenanigan was done, it was time to go to my room. I was actually on the first floor. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could have just taken the staircase. It was just one floor. Anyways, I was on the first floor in the room 109 and my pod was number 6, which was on the top bunker, which also meant that I had to climb a ladder to get to my pod, which honestly was not too bad, but then again, yeah. At this hostel, for what I saw, there are 3 to 6 pods in each room, and there are also like private rooms, but obviously I go to a pod because, well, what's the point of trying a capsule hotel if you're not going to go to a pod, you know? And every room has a locker that corresponds to the pod that you are in for your like belongings and stuff. Anyways, let me give you guys a room tour. Na house tour. I can take you to the first, second, third floor. Okay, so my roommates are out of the room, so I can give you a proper room tour. So as soon as you walk in, you will see the lockers, and then we have the toilet. The only bad thing about this place is that they do not have the bidet or the hand shower thing, so it is a bit complicated, which I don't love, but at the same time, better than nothing, you know. And also, did I mention that I had to share this bathroom with 5 other strangers? Okay. Anyways, we have a little hair dryer, the hand soap, the sink, which is very tiny, but doesn't matter, doesn't matter. And we have also like the towel hooks for each person, so the number corresponds to the pod that you are in. So this one belongs to that pod. And I am number 6. I still have to hang my towel. I just arrived, so. Next to the toilet, we also have the shower. The shower is also pretty tiny. I do not think I'm gonna take a shower in here, only because showering where a stranger has showered for some reason really gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I don't think I can do that. But tomorrow I'm gonna go to another hotel, so I'm gonna be okay, I feel like. Also, I showered before I arrived here, so I feel like I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay, yes. It seems like every pod is occupied because every one of the pods are very disheveled. But I don't want to show every other people's stuff, but that's my one. The pod itself came with a towel, a duvet, and a little pouch where I assume you put your phone in. But there's a downside to this place. They do not have doors for these pods. Normally, when you search a capsule hotel, you get a place with pods and with doors. I mean, City Hub had doors. So, yeah, I mean, I can't even defend it. It was my fault. I should have probably checked. I should have probably talked to them. But yeah, none of the rooms in this hostel have doors in them. I mean, the pods, the rooms had doors. You know what I mean? So it was my bad. Obviously, this meant I had to sleep with a bunch of people out in the open with no privacy. I was like so delusional. I was like searching for buttons everywhere to like close this pod. Yeah, there was no button. There was no button. I know, but hey, this is not my vibe usually. But we had to welcome new experiences. At least that's what I was telling myself. I'm acting like such a drama queen. I'm so sorry. Like, it wasn't that bad. I mean, lack of privacy aside, the pod itself was actually pretty good. At least for my standard. I'm a fairly short guy, so for me, it wasn't that big of an issue. But maybe if you're like a tall person, you might find it a tiny bit uncomfortable. But then again, there were so many other tall people in our hostel and in my room itself, and they seemed like they were okay in the pod. So I don't know, it depends on your personal preferences. Again, if you like more space, maybe pods aren't for you. So I also did some eavesdropping on my roommates, or should I call pod mates. I'm sorry. And apparently some people have been in this hostel for over 2 weeks and with no end date in sight. I mean, I understand why, because I paid $26 per night, and if you calculate it, it would be around like 806 euros per month, which also covers the cleaning, the Wi-Fi, the bills and all that. So it seems like a good deal. And it is definitely cheaper than a standard rent in any city. So I understand why people choose these kind of pods to stay for a while if they need to. Well, speaking of cleaning, this is something that came up a lot in the reviews. If you see these kind of like green specks, they are not the cleaning staff's fault, that's my fault. They're all coming out of this little green hoodie. I didn't expect this would happen. So if you're like talking about the cleanliness of this place, I feel like it is pretty clean. So I'm okay with it. So just so you guys know, this is my fault. But I did find something here. Basically, I am sleeping on top of a mat and there's another mattress beneath it and there are some discolorations. I don't want to guess anything, but I feel like I know what it is. So I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see it. Ignorance, oh my god, what is that? Okay, I just saw that one and that is definitely not mine. I don't know what it is. As somebody who works in a hotel, like these kind of like little orange specks, they're not always supposed to be like skid marks, even though that is like a big possibility. It's also can be like the laundry company who just did a bad job at cleaning the sheets or just their detergents or something like that. So, but for my sake, so I'm gonna turn it over and forget about it. But overall, it was dustier than I would have liked it to be. And I don't want to push anybody under the bus, but I did see a cleaner cleaning a pod with his shoes on. I mean, he did not step on the mattress, so maybe that's a good thing. Also, can I just say, filming in this pod was extremely difficult. People kept coming in and out. Obviously, it's their room as well. They paid to be there, so I cannot say anything about it.
Yes, I just came to the top of the stairs.
But that is also why I don't have that much footage outside of the pod, and I also had to be like extremely quiet every time. So yeah, I just want to respect everybody's privacy. I didn't want anybody to be mad at me for some reason. Anyways, I also did some exploring outside of my room and I found out that they have a lot of activities like a pool area, a cinema, a TV room and a whole weekly schedule that includes karaoke, walking tours, aqua yoga and many more. The night I was there, they were actually watching the match, which I was not very interested in, so I did not want to watch it or talk to people. But actually, I do want to mention, people in the reviews, they were like really pissed about the fact that like extra stuff like the kitchen, the pool area or the spa, whatever, they weren't like included in the price that they paid for the room. You would assume for 26 euros, you're not gonna get that much. Guys, come on, let's be realistic. In this economy, you can barely get groceries for 26 euros these days. So, I don't know what you expected. Either way, after exploring the city, it was time for bed. I used the bathroom, changed into my PJs, and I also decided to make my bag for the next morning because my flight was at 8 a.m. which meant that I had to get up extremely early in the morning and I didn't want to bother anybody in the morning. So I just make my bag the night before so I bother people as less as I possibly can. I don't know any of these people and I didn't want to talk to anybody, but I just did not want to be a bother. I mean, kudos to them. They seem like really chill people. I didn't have any problem with any of them. I know some like nightmare stories do happen in hostels. Thankfully, it did not happen to me. And I also tried to get some work done, but the Wi-Fi kind of sucked, which I understand because it's a big hostel, but at the same time, Wi-Fi, guys, come on, that's the only thing you can expect. Free. But anyways, so I decided to just call it an early night and go to bed. But sleeping turned out to be the hardest part for me. I mean, sleeping in front of other people is not something I enjoy per se. So I was extremely conscious. And to top that, I was more stressed that my alarm for 5 a.m. was gonna wake my pod mates. So I could not close my eyes for a very long time. And sleeping was even more difficult because the room was extremely hot. It felt like I was in the Sahara Desert. But eventually I did fall asleep and somebody apparently checked into the pods while I was fully out. So either they were extremely quiet or I was just like dead asleep. So I guess we wouldn't know. And guess what? I was so happy I woke up before my alarm did. I'm just so glad that my alarm didn't bother people. I mean, I was stomping around the room, so I'm sure somebody woke up. But at the same time, at least it wasn't my alarm, because my alarm is very, very, very loud. So, and it was time to say goodbye to my pod. But would I do this again? Yes, but only if the pods have doors. So, I do not think capsule hotels are a bad idea at all. And for the price that I paid, it was like super convenient for solo travelers or people who just don't want to spend too much money on accommodations. But I do not think I can ever sleep in a room full of strangers ever again. No. I even kept my socks on because I was way too conscious. I don't know what it has to do with anything, but yes, I was just like way too scared. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!